as Teresa claims she was only doing what Louis told her. RHONJ's Melissa Gorga suggests they might have sued Teresa and Louis for stealing the pizza business. Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga are still at war over the specifics of what transpired with their would-have-been pizza oven venture. Throughout the 13th season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa and Melissa fought over the failed partnership. Melissa accused Teresa's sister-in-law and brother-in-law, Luis Ruelas, of stealing the idea from Joe, while Teresa insisted she wasn't trying to hide anything and said she was only following Louis' instructions. He initially stated he and I were going to do it, but I told him, you really should be doing this with Teresa. You know what, you're right, he says. I could use the money for my sister. On the RHONJ after-show segment from the June 13th show, Melissa recounted, so he asked Teresa to join him in the activity. He promised to split it equally with her. Melissa claims that Joe gave his sister the concept for non-nose pizza at his home. Louis immediately jumped on board. Louis had a lot of enthusiasm for it. Oh my god, this is fantastic, said Louis. Absolutely, we're on board. Keep in mind that we just met him 2 months ago, Melissa said. Louis thought the partnership would be a good idea for Teresa and her daughters, even though Melissa and Joe didn't comprehend what he did for a job. Louis also believed his potential marketing talents would be beneficial to the company. For that reason, he was all in. He believed my brother was assisting me, Teresa said, before stating, I already knew my brother wasn't helping. My brother wants half of it. I think to myself, that kind of brother he is not. Louis was instructed by Teresa to put everything in writing, but he chose not to since he trusted Joe. Melissa asserts that the partnership went really sour despite the fact that the two women disagree over what caused it to fail. When Teresa and Louis made the decision to launch the company without Joe, it really went south. They obviously stole the concept, Melissa said. Began emailing my nephew, who was in charge of ordering them the pizza, in an effort to convince him to stop. Behind Joe's back, they really began to plan this entire event. Then, Melissa remembered, she eventually found out that Teresa had taken part in a picture shoot for the pizza ovens. When I had my makeup done, the person said, oh, I saw Teresa last week. I took pictures of her with her daughters for a new pizza product that they are releasing. It makes me so sad that I could cry, Melissa admitted. Teresa insisted that she and Louis weren't working behind the Gorgas' backs. She blamed Louis, saying, we weren't attempting to hide anything cause obviously, they found out from the camera. Louis was carrying it out. The fact is, I was merely following Louis' instructions. Looking back, Melissa claimed that despite Joe having come up with the concept for the pizza ovens, Louis not only stole the invention but also reduced their ownership stake to just 5% after putting up the initial $100,000 without their knowledge. Listen, just give it to your sister, says Louis. She requires the cash. We'll give you 5%, please, Melissa disclosed. We say, you can't offer 5%. We're now suing you if you accept the arrangement. Teresa allegedly questioned, since you're putting the money up, why does my brother have to be involved? After Louis had put up the initial $100,000 according to Melissa, not comprehending that more money was required to keep the firm running. The only time I got involved was when my brother said he wanted half, and I was like, well, why do you want half if you didn't put half the money in? Stated Teresa, you desire half, no issue. We're going to start this, you get half, and we get half, and Louis needs to have half of the money. Melissa said that everything was done behind Teresa and Joe's back, with no likelihood of them being involved, while Teresa assumed that she and Louis were the new proprietors of the company. Nobody informed us of anything. He simply did it, and they then twisted it to say, well, we put the money up. Melissa had a hunch. You guys went, took the idea and FC King flew with it, so we didn't even know it was time to put money up. Regarding Joe's ostensible promises to Louis, Teresa claimed that her brother informed her ex-boyfriend that he didn't need to spend any money because he is renowned. I'm a celebrity, he told my brother. She claimed that Louis could have informed her that he wanted nothing to do with because he was down $270,000 at that moment. Don't worry about it, he says. I'm an adult male. I erred in my judgment. Simply continue on. And yes, we did, she admitted. Meanwhile, Melissa issued a karma-related caution. It's FC King, not about the money. Money is not the issue here. We could have contributed the funds. My boyfriend is great since, as you can see, he just lost all that money. That's accurate. It's a BTCH, karma.